Welcome into another episode of the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast. Today is Monday, December 2nd, and we're going to be talking about a few individual milestones for the Rams, and then also another couple injuries for the San Francisco 49ers, bitter rival of the Rams. We'll get to that in just a minute. You can follow myself, Tom Cavanaugh, at TCAV30 on Twitter/X. Follow our insider pages at Rams Insider on SI and type in your search bar Rams Sports Illustrated to find all of our daily content. We're here from the Fans First Sports Network, and we're going to kick it off starting with Sean McVay earning his 76th regular season win on Sunday. That makes him the winningest regular season coach in franchise history, passing the late, great John Robinson. McVay, back in Week 8, became the winningest overall head coach, obviously with a bunch of different playoff appearances and stuff. Over his 7 years with the team, or now in his 8th year. And now he joins as the leading regular season coach after defeating the Saints 21-14 back on Sunday night. It's been pretty incredible to see what McVay is able to do. Dating back the last time before Sean got to the team, the last time the Rams had a winning season was 2003. They went 10 straight years with a losing record. And it's been a complete turnaround since then. In 2017, McVay took the reins, and he's put together 5 10-win seasons in his 7 full years as head coach. He's taken them to the playoffs 5 times. He's won them a Super Bowl, made 2 Super Bowl appearances, and you can't really say enough about what Sean McVay has been able to do, turning around this franchise entirely. And obviously it takes players to get to that point, but it cannot be done without a head coach. And the Rams are very fortunate considering what happens around the NFL on an annual basis with the shuffling of head coaches and whatnot. And they don't have to worry about that one bit. They got their guy. Next, we'll move on to young star receiver Puka Nacua. He had 56 yards on 5 catches against the Saints, and those 56 yards put him above 2,000 receiving yards in his first year and a half. It's been a very limited season for Nacua. Only has played 7 games this year after suffering a knee injury back in Week 1. And he's got just over 2,000, making him tied with Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings and Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals for being able to achieve 2,000 yards in just 24 games played. Now, the NFL record has been set by former Ram, and he did it with the New York Giants, Odell Beckham Jr. He did that in 21 games. But for Nacua, it's really easy to be able to get to that number when you're posting so many consistent 100-yard performances. In 24 games, 11 of those have been over 100 yards. It really should be 12. He had a 98-yard game earlier this year. But that type of production is incredible. I mean, when you're able to post triple digits at any time, that's an incredible game for a player. But he's doing it like it's an every week type of thing. Puka, he's obviously got pieces around him to help distribute the defense evenly, so they're not completely covering him one-on-one and putting their best safety and corner on him. But also the fact that he's got Matthew Stafford in the pocket to throw him the ball. Nacua would have succeeded anywhere he went to play, but having a veteran in Matthew Stafford there who's thrown to guys like Golden Tate, Calvin Johnson, etc., it only makes it that much easier for Puka. Final thing we're going to talk about here is the San Francisco 49ers, the hated rival of the Rams. They cannot catch a break. We talked about their injury report stuff last week, talking about Charvarius Ward, who was out, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy was hurt a couple weeks ago. And now 2 running backs went down in the snow game on Sunday Night Football against the Bills. 49ers got their butts whooped again, lost 35-10. They've lost by 53 points combined in their last 2 games between the Packers and the Bills, both road games in the cold. But it's pretty eye-opening to see what these injuries have done to this team. I mean, you lose Christian McCaffrey with a knee injury. That happened early in the ball game. And then Jordan Mason, your other running back, your backup, he goes down with a high ankle sprain, and he's put on injured reserve. McCaffrey, it was said by head coach Kyle Shanahan that he will likely be shut down for the rest of the year. I think that's smart because the Niners have no chance of making the playoffs now at 5-7. And losing Mason, I mean, that's just going to make it that much tougher for their offense to even have a chance to score points. Isaac Guerrero, he is going to be the number 1 back. And when you look at the depth chart for this team, and you might see Kyle Juszczyk getting some carries now, a bunch of them. When you look at the depth chart for the 49ers, you got Mason, who's hurt on injured reserve. You got McCaffrey, who's on injured reserve as well. And then you got Elijah Mitchell, who's on IR, is getting a surgery on his hamstring. All three of those guys are done likely for the rest of the year. That leaves Isaac Guerrero, and they're probably going to have to pull someone off the practice squad or make Kyle Juszczyk a main running back in the backfield just to kind of survive the rest of this season. Because I think at this point, with all the injuries and their record at 5-7, you just got to shut this thing down, try to work towards next year, try to keep as many people healthy as possible. But yeah, it's been a rough go of it so far for the Niners this season. Something that not a lot of people saw coming, as they were one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. That's going to do it for us here on the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated from the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow myself, Tom Cavanaugh, at TCAV30 on Twitter/X, and follow our insider pages at Rams Insider on SI. Thanks so much, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.